Hello! Looking at another theory. This time is definitely going to be related to what my Thursday video was going to be about, because we are looking at character theory put together by Propp. Now, honestly, I first went over this theory back in, I want to say September, October. It was definitely when I was first starting out on my uni course. But I'll put the right earphone in. You might be able to hear me a bit better. There we go. Anyway, so yeah, I first came across this theory in about September, October, which is when I first started uni. It was one of the first theories that my teacher went over with me, and at first when the teacher was saying, yep, this guy came up with this theory about all these characters, I was sort of a bit confused and didn't quite get it. Or not necessarily confused, but I didn't see how every single story had the same characters. But honestly, it makes so much sense. So, Vladimir Propp was a folklorist researcher, and he had an interest in the relationships between characters and the narratives. So his logic was that without characters there was no story, and the set character types, which I'm going to be going over in a minute, basically drive that story. So if there was no hero, the story would be completely different. Like that kind of thing. So his idea was that each story features a set group of characters. So there's the villain. I'm sure we all know a villain. Disney has come up with some amazing ones because I'm a big Disney nerd. The donor, I had to put a bit of a note there because it doesn't really make much sense. That is the one who prepared the hero for their quest, so their adventure. So I'm trying to work out whether it'd be Farquaad and Shrek or not. The donor and the dispatcher are basically, to me, sound like the same thing. The helper, that's the person who then obviously helps the hero on their adventure, so Gandalf. Oh no, the helper can also be considered as a sidekick, so like Batman has Robin, or that kind of thing. The princess or the victim, usually the one who needs being rescued, and that's usually who the hero's after. Like the princess needs rescuing from a tower, so the hero goes to save her. Right, that kind of idea. False hero. I'm sorry, I have to mention this one because it's the most obvious example I can think of. False heroes are someone who pretend to be good, but they're evil. So the best example I can possibly think of to explain to you what I mean is Hans from Frozen. He is like everyone, like we all love to hate a good Disney villain, but then there's just him who you just absolutely hate. And like I could go off on so many rants about him, but throughout like the whole ordeal with Elsa and Anna, he's out like distributing blankets to the townspeople, villagers, whatever you want to call them. He's like, yep, we've got food in the kettle, we've got blankets, we'll help look after you, and like, yep, you go save your sister, I'll look after her, I'll look after this lot. And then when she really needed him, it's like, sorry, I don't love you and I don't think anybody else does. So that is basically a false hero in a Disney perspective, because who here hasn't seen Frozen? It was like, was it 2014 when it came out, where every single kid was dressed up as Elsa for Halloween? All I was hearing was let it go everywhere. So that's basically what a false hero is. Then the dispatcher is the person who's like, yep, here you go, this is your adventure, go on it. So again, Farquaad, if it wasn't for Farquaad saying, you know what, Ogre, you can go and rescue me a princess because I'm too lazy to do it. So in that case, he would be the dispatcher. He's the one who told Shrek to go on this adventure to rescue Fiona. The hero, kind of everybody, like obvious, this is usually the one who saves the day, usually the one who is the story is told about. It's usually the hero who is the main protagonist, and don't necessarily all have to follow the stereotype of being buff and strong. It could be like Merlin, for example. I can never remember the actor's name, but like he was a very average looking man. No one expected him to be the hero. Everyone expected it to be Arthur, who was the prince, who was the knight, but really Merlin with his bippity boppity boo in the background was saving the day. So that is basically what his theory was. It was that there is these set character types in every single story. Now, not every single story will include every single one all at the same time, but you can't really have a villain without a hero. You can't. A victim, I guess. I mean, you could have a victim, or like the most common one will include a princess, a villain, and a hero. So like that pretty much sums up every Disney film. But some of them will include a helper who helps the prince save her, like Cinderella had the mice. But it's, I don't know, not every single one will be included in one plot. You could do that, and good luck to you for doing it, because that sounds like a lot of character prep. But it's, I don't know. Anyway, so how it relates to writing. This relates to writing because by understanding the character types which are more than likely going to occur in your chosen genre, it can help you when creating your own characters. So I know that in crime thrillers, which is what I'm obsessed with and what I am currently working my way through, there is going to be a villain that is the criminal. I know that there's going to be a hero that is the detective. I know that there is going to be a princess or a victim. That's usually the one who's going to get killed or burgled or attacked in some way, shape or form. So I know that those three are definitely going to be included. Now, they could have a sidekick. They could have a helper, like, I'm trying to think, Beckett from Castle. She has Castle. Now, sure, he's not a detective and he's just there to get in the way, but in that same way, he is her sidekick. He helps her with her cases by giving her a completely different perspective to look at the crime with. He helps her in that way. So, if you can then wrap your head around all this stuff, which is the villain, the donor, the helper, the princess, the false hero, the dispatcher, and the hero, you can then work out what kind of character your characters are going to be. So, and I'll get more into this on Thursday's video. When you're coming up with your story, you get in to create your characters. Are they going to be a helper? Are they going to be the dispatcher? Are they going to be the hero? What role is that character that you're trying to create going to what impact is that character going to have on your entire plot? If they're just sitting there in the background collecting dust, then you don't really need them and you could quite easily just delete them out of your story. Whereas a character of significance, why are they significant? Do they prepare the hero for the quest? Are they the one that is the hero? So I think that pretty much sums up Propp's theory on character types. You can also relate it to personality types. I think there's I'm not entirely sure how many personality types there are, but if you can combine them too, and say do a character profile, something I'll be going over on Thursday's video for the princess. Are they a submissive character? Do they like being told what to do? Or are they completely the opposite, like Fiona from Shrek? Because she is not your stereotypical princess. She is quite happy to go and kick a load of people in the middle of the woods. She's quite happy to do that, whereas most princesses would be like, oh no, save me, save me. But Fiona's quite happy to do that herself. The only reason she'd waited in that tower for so long was because she wanted someone to break this curse for her, which is the only thing she has done. So once you've got your head around all the different character types, and if you're interested in that kind of side of things, the whole personality types, and combine the two, you can create some pretty believable and relatable characters, which will then hopefully have more people loving your story. So I think that is it from me on Propp's theory. It's a pretty straightforward one. There's not really too much to waffle on about. But anyway, nevertheless, I hope you've enjoyed, and I shall see you later. Bye!